Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tam tikshna chittam adifamachestitam Vikshyantarakosha parichaditav shivat Varastriyam tat prabhaya chadashate Nirikshamane janani yatishtha Tam tiksha chittam ativamachestitam Vikshyantarakosha parichadavasya vishivat Varastriyam tat prabhaya chadarshate Nirikshamane janani yatishtatam Tam tikshna chittam ativamachestitam Vikshyantarakosha parichadashivat Varastriyam tat prabhaya chadarshate Nirikshamane janani yatishtatam Ladies, that Putana Rakshashi, Tikshna Chittam, having a very fierce heart for killing the child. Ativam achestitam. Although she was trying to cheat the child, better than a mother. Viksha antara. Seeing her within the room. Kosha parichada asibat. Like a sharp sword within a soft sheath. Varastriyam, the very beautiful woman. Tat prabhaya, by her influence. Cha, also. Darshite, being overwhelmed. Nirikshyamane, were seeing. Janani, the two mothers. He, indeed. Atishtatam, they remained silent, without prohibiting. Putana's Rakshashi's heart was fierce and cruel, but she looked like a very affectionate mother. Thus she resembled a sharp sword in a soft sheath. Although seeing her within the room, Yashoda and Rohini, overwhelmed by her beauty, did not stop her, but remained silent because she treated the child like a mother. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Although Putana was an outsider, and although she personified fierce death because of the determination within her heart to kill the child, when she directly came and placed the child on her lap to offer the child her breast to suck, the mothers were so captivated by her beauty that they did not prohibit her. Sometimes a beautiful woman is dangerous because everyone being captivated by external beauty, Maya Mohita, is unable to understand what is in her mind. Those who are captivated by the beauty of the external energy are called Maya Mohita. Mohitam nabijanati mam ebya param abhyayam. Natevadu swarat katim hibishnum durashaya ye bahir arthamanina. Here, of course, the two mothers, Rohini and Yashoda, were not Maya Mohita, deluded by the external energy. But to develop the pastimes of the Lord, they were captivated by Yoga Maya. Such Maya Moha is the action of Yoga Maya. Om Agyantimidandasya Yananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Yadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajataham Sahakana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Ananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Putana Rakshashi's heart was fierce and cruel, but she looked like a very affectionate mother. Thus she resembled a sharp sword in a soft sheath. Although seeing her within the room, Yashoda and Rohini, overwhelmed by her beauty, did not stop her, but remained silent because she treated the child like a mother. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 6, entitled The Killing of the Demon Putana, Text 9. Putana was sent by Kamsa specifically to kill all the newborn children in all of the areas surrounding Mathura. He feared that the child who was prophesied to kill him was born somewhere. In order to protect his own life, he was willing to ruthlessly murder thousands of baby children. Harmless, innocent, helpless, with no regret, with no second thought. This is to the extent the false ego could cover a person's natural spiritual qualities. Because Kamsa, like everyone else, is part and parcel of Krishna. His soul is Satchit Ananda, spiritual, divine in every way. Nityasiddha Krishna Prema Sajja Kabunai. His nature is to love Krishna with unconditional, unmotivated devotion. That is who he is. This ahankar can so thoroughly cover and program one's mind and intelligence that he's thinking Krishna, the ultimate object of his love, to be his worst enemy. And he's seeing all these innocent baby children as potential enemies. And he knows that only one was predicted to kill him. But he's willing to murder tens and thousands to reach that one. Why? Because his ego had programmed him so much to see everything centered around his happiness, his enjoyment, his sustenance. This is the beginning seed of ahankara. When we put ourself in the center of our lives and in the center of our considerations of creation. If it feels good for me, if it's safe for me, then I'll be happy. Truth is to put God in the center, because factually God is the center. He is in the center. He is the root of the tree. But when we want to become the root of the tree, that's the beginning of the false ego. I want to be the controller, I want to be the proprietor, I want to be the enjoyer. We never were, we are not, and we never will be. But the ahankara gives us this misconception. And on that basis, we could do anything. And Kamsa, he's a philosopher. Factually, he's a yogi. He's practiced yoga that nobody could even imagine in this world today. He developed such supernatural powers. He personally challenged all the other demons in the universe who had extraordinary powers and defeated every single one of them. He basically put them in a position where they had two choices: to either die or surrender to him. And most of them surrendered to him. That's why we see all these Putanas and Bakasuras and Akasuras. They're all being sent by Kamsa to kill children, to kill Krishna. It's not that they're loyal, loving servants of Kamsa. It's either they die or they surrender. That was Kamsa's program. And how the false ego can justify our own selfishness. It's actually incredible. A person has a certain attitude, a certain conviction, a certain idea, a certain fear, and can justify practically anything is all right on that basis. It comes as a symbol of the potential of the ego within every one of us. Within every one of us, that potential is there. Maybe not with the same expansive power. Quantitatively, Kamsa was huge. But the same attitude could be there. So he sends Putana, kill every baby that's been born in the recent past. And he knew how to, he was actually an excellent manager from a material perspective. If only he added Krishna to it. Srila Prabhupada explained, without Krishna everything is zero. You could have million zeros, but it all adds up to zero. If you put one in front, it becomes many millions and billions and trillions and quadrillions. Well, we have heard in our Bhakti society about how devotional service, a leader should engage people to dovetail their propensities. Kamsa was expert at that. When he saw Putana, he knew her propensities and expertly engaged her. The only problem is it was for his ego, his selfishness, instead of for Krishna. So she could fly. She was flying around looking for babies. And no one could stop her. By one means or another, she would get to every single baby she saw. And then mercilessly eat their flesh and drink their blood. Do you think she felt any sympathy for these babies as they were crying and screaming and their innocent little baby eyes are looking at her piteously, begging for mercy? She had no regret. She ate them. This is how the false ego can cover us. She thought that was what they were for. They were to be eaten by her. It's not so different in human society today. Yes? These little calves and cows, and goats, you look in their eyes at a slaughterhouse, and they're looking at the people about to slaughter them the same way the little babies were looking at Putana, helpless, innocent. They're slaughtered by the tens and millions. No regret. Why? Because the false ego programs us to believe that this is the way it's supposed to be. They were meant to be eaten by us. Well, that same psychology is extended in Putana when she comes to eat your babies. Same mentality of ego when Hitler was killing millions and millions of people he didn't like. They were just meant to be killed by him. There was no regret. So we see in the world genocide, terrible cruelty, slavery, persecution, throughout history. It's the same principle. The false ego. We want to put ourselves in the center. And sometimes in order to put myself in the center, I have to put my nation in the center. I have to put my religion in the center. I have to put my race in the center. I have to put my family in the center. I have to put the team of my city in the center. Because I'm in the center, we want anything that's related to me, we try to put in the center. And anything else outside of that, we're justified to do the needful. So Putana, she heard somehow or other by her, she was really a yogini. She could change her form any way she wanted. Now some of us, we're not very beautiful. Somehow or other, our karma's just not very beautiful. So we get cosmetics, and we get makeup, and we go to, yoga studios or gyms, and somehow or other try to compensate. Yes? But no matter what you do,
It's just not who you are in this lifetime. Yes? The cosmetic industry, billions and billions of dollars are spent by people who just, they don't like the way they look. I mean, if we're just going to tell it as it is, hate to tell you this, but the only reason why anybody buys cosmetics is they don't like the way they look. If they really like the way they look, why would they be coloring it and painting it all different designs? Right? We want to look different. Yes, the heavenly ladies, they don't need cosmetics. Whatever, any cosmetic you put on a heavenly damsel only covers their beauty. But in this material world, it covers either our ugliness or our ordinariness, to try to make us look beautiful. Yes? So, what can you do? But Putana, how powerful she was. She was really ugly. But the thing is, among Rakshashis, people thought she was really beautiful. Because everybody has their own conception. But she wanted to become beautiful by human eyes, so she just chanted a mantra and she had a body that was absolutely stunning, extraordinary. Even heavenly damsels were jealous of her. She didn't just look like a beautiful woman from the heavens. People thought she was Lakshmi, the supreme source of all beauty. Can you imagine having that power? If you want to charm some man or woman, you just go chant a mantra and and all of a sudden you have this roop that's so beautiful. Unbelievable. So she came in dressed so nicely, walked right into Nanda Maharaj's house. Yashoda, Rohini, and all the Brijabasis. Nanda Maharaj was not there, he was in Mathura. She came just at a good time, very strategically. And they thought, just by seeing her charm and her beauty, and she looked like such a loving, gracious, cultured woman, they felt that Lakshmi had come to bless their baby. That was their thinking. And Yashoda, Mai, and Rohini, it's not that they're just simple people who don't understand things. They're Nityasiddhas. They were free of karma. They are free of maya. They were beyond illusion. Rohini is Balaram's eternal mother in Goloka Vrindavan. Yashoda Mai is Krishna's eternal mother in Goloka. They descended to assist Krishna in his pastimes. So how possibly could the mother, the eternal mother and father of the absolute truth, beyond Maya, be subject to such a grotesque and dangerous illusion? To think that this monstrous Rakshashi was a beautiful woman. Her intent, it describes in this verse and purport, she was determined to kill Krishna. Now, can you imagine what type of determination it took her to perform tapasya to get these supernatural powers she had? inconceivable determination. And all of her powers were focused with Vyavashayatmaka here. Krishna says those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, their aim is one. She was like that, but for the wrong purpose. Instead of resolute in purpose to please Krishna, she was resolute in purpose with a vow of determination to kill Krishna. Why couldn't Yashoda and Rohini see that? We read about how Yashoda, Mai, and Rohini loved Krishna like Yashoda did. They were worrying about Krishna at every second. Shukadev Goswami said they were in the divine supreme ecstasy of anxiety constantly. What does that mean? Usually we think anxiety is different than ecstasy. Vaikuntha means the place of no anxiety. But here in the highest Vaikuntha, she's in anxiety. But it's the anxiety of love. It increases the intensity and the nature of the love. It's dynamic. That's Leela. So they were always in anxiety for Krishna. They were not thinking he's the supreme absolute truth, the source of the universal form, nothing can harm him. They were thinking he's an ordinary baby. They just loved him more than anybody could love God. Because he was God. At every moment, they were worrying about his protection. And that went through every stage of his life. And so now he's only a couple days old. Why couldn't they see it? It is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and our acharyas that Krishna's Leela Shakti, his Yogamaya potency, which activates and intensifies the dynamics of the sweet, loving relationships between Krishna and his devotees on the liberated state of prema, or love. It's Yogamaya that makes Rohini and Yashoda think that Swayam Bhagavan is an ordinary little baby depending on them. That is Yogamaya, to facilitate loving relationships. And similarly, it was Yogamaya that covered Rohini and Yashoda from recognizing who was this Rakshashi, Putana, and what was her purpose. This described that the Leela Shakti, the pastime potency of the Lord, personally invited Putana to Vrindavan. She didn't know what was happening. Nobody knew what was happening. But when she walked in, fiercely determined with envy and hatred to murder this baby, little baby Krishna, he looked at her and closed his eyes, because he was in the role of a helpless little baby child, and here's this woman who's coming to kill him. So he closed his eyes as if he was scared. Amazing. He's feared by fear personified, but he's appearing to be scared. Sometimes if you're in a helpless condition and there's nothing you can do, you just close your eyes. Krishna was pretending to be like that. There are many reasons he closed his eyes. Our acharyas are extremely poetic and insightful in how they realize Krishna's inner heart's motives. One of the many reasons is Krishna knew that his glance is all auspicious. And if he cast his glance on Putana, he would make her auspicious. But his purpose was not to make her just auspicious. His purpose was to give her the ultimate liberation in the spiritual world. So she had to be inauspicious in order to do what she was about to do. He closed his eyes. And Putana picked up the little baby right in front of everybody and put Krishna on her lap. Everyone was watching. They were so happy about it. They felt so blessed. And then she went to put her breast in his mouth, which was coated with deadly poison.